And I think that's where we met, right?
Yeah, like right after I got off the phone with you, I called my manager. I was telling him what was going on, and he's like, Jackie, don't call him back. And I was like, as I was pressing connect with LinkedIn.
I won't, don't worry.
Don't worry, I'm not going to do it. He doesn't know that I'm talking to you right now. Like, I considered telling him, but I was like, no, it'd just be weird. Hey, I just started a podcast with this random dude I met on the phone that I was supposed to pitch for this thing. And you know, we're best friends now. Thank you.
Welcome to another week of dysfunction. Here's Jackie and Matt.
Is that where I'm supposed to be right now, John?
Yeah. Yeah. You would be in one of these two chairs.
Nice.
We would be hanging out.
I would be drinking
talking
tequila.
about our trip that we're about to take tomorrow morning.
This is the Redwoods.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I got nothing holding me back at this point. Once the police report's in and the renter's insurances, maybe I'll just come out.
Oh, that's perfect.
Just go, yeah.
Yeah, I should.
Oh.
I should.
Yeah.
Not I should. I'm going to. How about that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, this is a beautiful place to be. And honestly, with Arizona burning down, brother, this might not be the best place for you to come up and live. Because, I mean, you work off your own computer.
That's true.
I was just about to tell
stay
you
down there in that desert?
here.
Yeah.
Why not to Texas? Why can't y'all both move to Texas?
Because I can't grow cannabis out there the way I grow it out here.
That's so true. Very true.
Yeah, cannabis out here is just way too fantastic. And I'm not a real big fan to degrees of certain areas like that kind of growing certain cannabises because the atmosphere in the area is not really meant for really certain types of flowering. And the amount of work and energy it takes to run some of those greenhouses, and the amount of like nutrients and things like that you have to make, it's just... It seems counterproductive in my mind when you're trying to make a world that's more sustained at an eco-friendly level. But, you know, I don't know enough about it all, so I could be wrong. But I just think it's better to find areas that are good for something and use those things for that thing versus trying to recreate a fake environment in an area that's just difficult.
So then how do you explain blow-up dolls?
The fact that the porn is the biggest freaking money out there, like there's no industry bigger than the sex and porn industry.
Dude, I was just watching Good Boys and that real doll scene fucking killed me. I don't know if you saw it.
Dude, have you seen that show, Dave?
Doll. Oh yeah, of course, dude. The Fuck Me, the Fuck Me Silly 3?
those legs are just flapping. That stuff is so good, bud. So good.
Why do you own the bottom half of a
really
sex doll? How often are you fucking it? That's a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to address these one by one.
Oh, hey Matt, I can't hear you too well. Can you get a little closer to your mic?
I cannot.
Oh, that's much better, buddy.
Yeah, the Better Buddy was my nickname in high school.
The Better Buddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
That or that kid that's always missing from class. Or that guy that owes me $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
I remember him.
I was the other guy. I was the guy that they had to call my name over the freaking speaker phones.
Oh.
Yeah. But then again, I love sports though, dude, man. That's
so you felt like you were getting called up to like to bat?
Oh yeah. No.
Up next to the principal's office, John, and you'd be like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude, the funny thing was, a lot of my coaches had like counselor positions or jobs of that nature. So they'd send me to the office and they would look at me and I just knew, well, I got 2-3 miles before I get to practice today. Like one of my coaches was running detention one day and I got sent to detention and he was the running back coach and he just looks over at me. He's like, what the F are you doing here? He's freaking bad. You know, he's busting my chops pretty good. And they sent me to detention because it was a day we were doing like a test and I test really fast. I just have a really great way and I ace tests. So I was sitting there in class and you're supposed to have a book to read afterwards. and I brought a Maxim magazine. But like the guy that I am, I sneak it behind one of my three binder folders, and I'm flipping through it and I'm reading it and having a good time. And my teacher walks by, looks down, and it's just one of those times where it's got the ad of that half-naked girl and the other thing, and she's like, "You're reading porn in class?"
Oh, God.
I'm just looking around, and everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, "It's not porn. I read it from the articles."
You're like, play it cool. Shh. I'll share it with you too.
Yeah. So when I went to see my coach told me to give him the magazine, and then he just sat there and read it the whole time. I'm like, what? Is this what's going on?
The kid that sat next to us at school in Japan, who was from Russia, he would every single day he was listening to the erotic adventures of Supergirl. It was like I want to say like a TV show, but only done audibly, and it was porn. Essentially, it was audible porn. And so essentially, it was listening to like Supergirl moan for like 30 minutes every day while we took instructions on how to learn Japanese. That was pretty sweet.
No.
Yeah, guys,
That
pretty.
made me uncomfortable.
Made me uncomfortable. I had to sit next to the guy.
No, that's funny, dude. Well, you know, that's what I like about the old school ways of school. Like I remember when I was in high school, I took police science.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, I just want to know how cops think. Because you think for the rest of your life, you have to interact with these sons of guns.
Yeah.
So you might as well understand the way they think and how they act and how they rationalize what's going on so you can manipulate the situation and you're in with them whenever it occurs. The funny thing was my teacher was actually a police officer. We didn't really like teaching all the time. So once a week, he would show up with another video of like those Faces of Death videos.
Oh, I hated
And he'd
those.
just start playing Faces of Death. So you're sitting in class for an hour and a half watching people have these horrific deaths. And you're like, this is what I'm learning in high school?
Wait, what?
They didn't make you watch Faces of Death?
No, okay, so I took psychology of criminal minds. So I was in psychology from freshman year to senior year, and then I also took forensics on top of that. And the shows we would watch would be like Forensic Files or how and why people would kill. So
we got Faces of Death.
Fine. I wanted to be a forensic scientist since I was like 5 or 6.
Oh, that's awesome.
The first time I said it, I was 4, my grandmother tells me. I obviously don't do that. I do marketing now. But that's what I wanted. And I went to school for it. I took classes on it. I was very excited. But then I like really thought about it. And I'm like, no. Kids being killed, no.
Yeah.
That would be so depressing.
You have to have a sense about yourself because you're going to be seeing some of the ugliest parts of humans like every single day of your life. And your whole process is to dissect them. It just, ooh.
That I could do. What I can't do is deal with the child that is dead. Like,
the victim status.
Yeah, the victim part, I can't do. Like the victim being an adult, yes. A victim being a child under the age of 7 when they're pure, no.
That's understandable. And I hope that almost all humans in the world have that feeling. Because that's, children being hurt and children being taken advantage of.
Oh, you told an awful story the other week about a kid.
Yeah.
Well, what I saw actually recently is, I know this is not everyone, but you know how like the LGBTQ community includes everything or whatever?
Yeah.
I saw a post.
Alphabet people.
Yeah.
The alphabet people. Dave Chappelle.
I saw this post of this guy saying, really inside, I'm a 6-year-old girl and I like the 6-year-old boy.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he was saying that inside how he feels is a younger version, but he's a female inside who is attracted to boys. And that was his way of justifying pedophilia.
Yeah.
Well, here's you guys had that really great witch the other day that was on your podcast.
Danny!
Dude, I'll tell you right now, that chick is so cool. She has such a smart, intellectual way that she's delivering the information. I was so impressed with that lady, man. She's freaking solid. That was a great, and you two, by the way, are wonderful interviewers. I sent you a text, but I want to tell you straight up. You two are very good at getting interesting facts out of people. and the way you guys react together. You two guys are. I'm really excited to see where this thing goes for you guys.
Thank you
awesome.
very much, sir.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that.
I appreciate
If you want to see me wreck it, you can listen to our tarot reading, or we talked.
Wait, are those up?
No. I don't think
Okay, please.
they're gonna be bonus content.
Because our tarot reading was, oh my god, it was just Matt and I feeding off of each other, not making sense, but it was hilarious.
And honestly, it's that great magnet Matt talks about.
The great magnet.
No, he mentions it a lot, but I don't know what that is. I imagine like magnets.
Yeah,
We're all wrapped in polarity.
Me and you are, we're polarized, right? And the great magnet, it travels around the universe and it connects two things that need to be connected when they need to be connected, and only that. And then it separates them when they need to be separated. And the great magnet connected us that one day.
We never get separated. That actually hurt my heart physically.
We won't be, don't worry. But there are people it will separate you from. The great magnet
that physically hurt me when you said that.
Oh my god!
I don't know why. I've never felt that before.
So see, that's that reincarnation coming back around. Old souls. Who knows? Maybe in a life before now, you two guys were married. And things like that, or you guys were twins or brothers and sisters.
I feel like we've probably done all of those things.
That's a beautiful thing you get when you have the ability to imagine with going out in there and saying that there's more to this universe than this one single life.
Right.
And actually, that's what I was going to say when you were talking about that guy right now who had that psychology about the disorder, where he thought that he was this young girl, and he wanted young boys with it too. And I think there's this unique variable that I ran into when I was a little kid, that I always had problems managing all of my actions and all the qualities that I had going on in my head. And I've always had all these voices that I knew were distinctly not myself. And I would have conversations with them, and we would talk and we would analyze things together. And, we could call them spirit guides, but some of them weren't really spirit guides. Some of them were competing entities trying to experience life and experience emotion and experience things that were inside of them through my physical body. And I would do things and I would have actions where I'm aware of what was going on, but I couldn't stop my actions. I couldn't slow down what was going on. And the emotions and the feelings that I was feeling were also diluted to a variable as well. And when I ended up being 18, I talked to my mom about it. My mom's a Wiccan witch type person. She's a white witch. Mm-hmm. And she called up her friend who's a psychic, and the psychic said to her that these are old souls from his past lives. Like he was this general, and all of his soldiers really loved him because he had compassion and he cared for them and he loved them back. And all of his soldiers there. There's this great battle that happened, and within that battle, him and many of his men died, and many of those souls never wanted to leave him because they loved him and they always loved his energy. And they felt like as soon as they broke away from that energy source, they would never be able to find it again and they would get lost. So they attached themselves to me.
Oh,
and she gave my mom some really pretty words and distinctive nature of what to say and how to feel and what intentions to bring out, to ask those souls to please leave and to go find your next life. Go out there and find your own way of being something. And thank you for loving me and for wanting to be with me. But this is no longer where you need to be. You need to move on to your next adventure in the universe. And I did that for about 2 or 3 weeks religiously every day. And there's only about 2 or 3 voices still that hang out, but I know them and they're my friends. And I understand why they haven't left yet. And we've come to a compromise. And it's very nice now. So, in that type of intellect, other people could have. So that guy could be in that situation, but he may have never had anybody explain those ideas to him or that thought process. Mm-hmm. So the only process he's ever told is, oh, you're this kind of psychopath or you're this kind of sociopath. Not, well, maybe you have some old resonances from old lives that might still be a part of you.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But I understand when someone else is listening to this is probably what they're thinking is what distinguishes those voices that you hear to someone that, say, is multiple personality disorder or DOD, which is dissociative. What was it? DOD. Look, can you look that up?
Yeah, dissociative. Objective. 1 second.
Yeah, look it up. But like, what's the difference of you recognizing what those voices are and then giving them permission to take over and being DOD?
Dissociative identity disorder. It's DID.
Yeah, DID. Right? I'm sorry.
Is that possible? No.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Okay, got it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, these could just be the scientific terms for the things that I just kind of found in my own study of life. I mean, I've never really looked hardcore into these things.
Well,
I just always kind of...
Dissociative generally comes from a lack of empathy, which we seem to keep going back to.
No. So DID is actually when a large trauma happens in your life and you get stuck in a certain state of mind. So like, say a girl got raped.
The girls with the pretty voice, like Pam Anderson.
No, not that.
No.
It's multiple personality disorder. That's what it is. But they revert back into that mental thought. So say they were raped.
Yeah.
They got stuck at age 3. But whenever something triggers that feeling again, they go back to that age or that age of 3. Or maybe they're like, oh, I was hurt at this time. They close themselves off and create another persona and name it like Matt or something.
Right.
Yeah. And then they go back to that person. I'm Matt right now because I'm protecting the person or myself.
Well,
does that make sense?
No, that sounds exactly like what I would assume humans would do.
But Dr. Drew says
he says for humans to use. Sorry, Matt. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that when girls are generally molested at a young age, they tend to stick into that, that real like girly voice, almost valley girly, but like it's like it's like a girl imitating like what a girl would sound like kind of voice. That usually comes from...
This was just an example.
Right, no, I know. I'm just saying that I was just listening to... I think Dr. Drew talked about this like yesterday. I just thought it was interesting. Came up like 2 days in a row.
It is.
Plus, there's also, the theory that whatever like age group you are, like whatever your traumas are, whenever they happen is like what period or I guess a developmental stage you could be stuck in. Like... we were talking about he had like the nasal and the oral and the anal and the genital or whatever. And if you get stuck, like if your trauma happens during your like nasal like growing period, you'll have like a nasal fixation. It's usually people that end up snorting shit their whole life. Or if it's like, one of the the nether regions, they end up with one of the sexual fetishes or multiples of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But my question is like what distinguishes you from having DID or multiple personality disorder and what you explained to me? Because you did explain that sometimes you would do actions that weren't your actions, that you were just the viewer of your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't that I gave permission at those times. Those are times where I lose my wits. Because my physicality is one of the most distinctive parts of kind of who I am within my own DNA. I need to burn like 3,000-4,000 calories every day. And I need to like really burn out it's kind of like a pit bull. I have to run myself so I can relax and kind of decompress. And when I've done too much of that and I've overextended myself, I start to I lose my wits about myself and I would lose my ability to kind of really be present. And when I would lose that ability to hold that, that's when they would have the abilities to slide in. Or if I were going to do something like if I started like, drinking alcohol or I started doing something that would disassociate my soul from its corresponding attachment to the physicality, then you allow these openings for other things to kind of slide in. But at the same time, some energies are more powerful than you. That's the idea of all these different vibrational fields. angels and they're, guides of all different sorts that can kind of just come in and take over the physicality and push you aside because they just resonate on a different variable. At least these are the beliefs that I have. I don't mean this isn't fact. This is just the way my heart believes the world around me exists.
So how often does this happen to you?
Ever since I did that back when I was in my 20s and I asked everybody to kind of go away, I really haven't dealt with it for 10, 15 years now. Now, what I've kind of done is through that process, that and when I was younger, I ate a lot of mushrooms. I used to do a lot of hero dosing because it was a cheater's way because I have a hard time relaxing to get into a meditation. Mm-hmm. So it was my cheater's way to jump up right into the universe and talk to all my guides. So I would go up to my guides and we would talk about what I've been doing with my life. What does the universe around me going on and what's this and what's that, and discuss what are the game plans I should be setting for myself and what is my soul's mission for this life form. Okay. And when we went through that, we went through different years of my life and we talked about what types of chaos and what kinds of this and what kinds of that are coming in your way. And they weren't specific, but what they were was in these times of your life, make sure you have an extra bit of awareness because things are going to be shifting. So make sure that you hold this mindset. Make sure that this decision you made at this time, this person you're going to be when you die, you're making sure that you hold that path and true to that. So.
Okay. So you said a lot that I don't personally understand. Just because I'm new to this, I'm learning. I only came across most of this ideology through TikTok, and then I met Matt right when I was learning all this. So, and now we're like searching through this together, I guess. But you say spirit guides. What are those, and how do you talk to them?
I was born with the gift of just being able to go out into my third eye.
Catholic.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, I was born with the gift. Just I'm able to attach to my third eye. I'm able to shift out of wherever I am and start attacking other different realms. When I was younger, I started doing yoga and became a massage therapist. I started learning energy healings. And when I started doing things like acupressure, I was holding points on people's bodies, and I can actually feel the physical energy of their body. I could feel the pulsations, and I was able to find ways to bring the thought of color and these thought of intentions in through my body, and I could feel the universe using me as a vessel to pass these energies back into the body and finding the right colored magnitudes and the right types of vibrational ideas that I'm thinking and projecting then would hit that body. Then they would start resonating and they would start bringing the paths back to the right vibrations. And that's kind of where I started to really feel like this is a world beyond this third dimensional plane. There has to be something deeper. There has to be another variable, which is pretty much vibration. So then I just really went down into the world of vibration and studied how you can manipulate so many characters and qualities inside somebody with just a certain variable of shake and twist and
power
pressure.
Suggestion and impressionability, pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's
a lot more to it, but
oh yeah.
So
like, sorry, what's up?
No, so all this that you've learned, your mom, you mentioned that she was a Wiccan, or she's Wiccan, correct?
Yeah.
So she was the one that like taught you and let you grow in this ideology and like pretty much, right?
She opened the door to thoughts.
Okay.
But it was my grandmother that she's the one who gave me the key. And her words to me one day, I mean, she's an Italian grandmother. She was the sweetest. She'd cook you so much food. She'd cook a meal for a freaking army for, 5 people. She was the sweetest one in the entire world. And her story is amazing. But anyway, which way, what she taught me when I was younger was try everything once. You never know what you're going to like. And she meant about food because she wanted me to try different plates that she was making. But I took that idea and I was like, oh, that seems like a good idea for how you should live your life. So then my mom opened me the book of this vibrational idea, and that there could be ways to talk to your angels, because my mom never liked any church she took us to, because she was trying to be a good Christian, and every church she went to, there's like she didn't like it didn't resonate with her, so she would teach me and my brothers, but my mom has that ADD, so she had trouble trying to keep it being consistent, but that's what she was trying to preach. And actually this last Father's Day, oh my God, I got her to admit something. Oh, and you should have seen how cute it was. So we were talking about the ideas, and we were talking about reincarnation. And she's like, I believe in reincarnation. I'm like, I know. I mean, how can you be a Christian and believe in reincarnation? You understand, like, the baseline of both realities are 100% conflicting within these different concepts. And she kept just trying to like dodge it. Then finally she said, super quiet, because we were out in Jacksonville, and everybody out there is, very, God friendly. And she's like, I'm really not a Christian then, am I? And I just kind of looked at her. I was like, wow. And she just kind of looked at me. She's like, I've evolved beyond that. And just
that's
finally
awesome.
having her say that was beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking, like, I'm tearing up right now, just thinking how beautiful it was. And, I finally started asking my dad questions about, like, what he thinks about, this, and he's the complete opposite of us. He's like, I don't think about any of that. My mind doesn't reach out to those thoughts. My mind says, this is the life I am, and this is what I'm experiencing. I'm going to experience this life. And as long as I'm a good person and I'm happy with the choices I make, and I know I'm not fucking other people over, I'm doing right. I know that when I die, I'll find out. I'm pretty sure I'll be all right.
Wow. It's just funny to see how everyone in your life are at different points of, I guess, the reincarnation process, if you think of it as a timeline. But it's funny to see, like, oh, you're younger than me because you're still in that mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I'm a child.
like, I didn't realize till now that we talk about it is I've been thinking about these things since I was young. Like, I was little. I always thought that people had these little, I'm going to sound crazy again, and I feel like I sound crazy.
Hey, Jackie,
so
I'm
when
here.
I was little,
You won't.
When I was little, I used to drive in the car with my grandmother, and we were going to visit my uncle one day. And I finally told her, like, hey, Mama, what are these little balls of light that follow people?
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
like, what balls? I'm like, yeah, those little balls. They follow people in their cars.
Guardian angels.
And she's like, how many are there? I was like, that one has like 6 or something. I remember this day, like, specifically, because every ball were different colors, and they follow people. And then one,
Oh my God, Jackie.
one day, I saw a really dark ball and a bunch of little dark balls. And I was like, Mama, let's move. Something bad's going to happen. And she's like, what? And I was like, just move. Let's just move. And then right when I said that, the car got in an accident and everyone in that car died.
Whoa.
But I knew it was going to happen before it happened. And she's like,
I've heard this.
yeah. So, like, I've always seen those. I've always seen weird shit since I was little. But yeah, I was just thinking about it because I was like visualizing it.
Well, I hope I'm planting seeds that can help you grow in that, because I'll be honest with you. Everything I just said is already right inside of you. You just have to find the way to water the seeds and let those things grow, because that's who you are. That is your gift to humanity. That is your gift to the universe and the world around you. But most importantly, it's the gift to yourself. It's the gift for you to always be able to know that you're walking a healthy path. And if you have the ability to share kindness or compassion or safety to somebody, that you offer that to them.
Yeah.
I mean, that, to me, that's why I got into being a massage therapist, because I touch a body and I connect to the universe, and I can just manipulate and make it better than it was. And for me not to do that for people, and for me to try to find ways to gouge people for that, and not try to make it something that I offer with love and kindness and at a reasonable rate for whoever that person is, then I'm doing something against the quality of the universe that I'm a part of. I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that.
Do you think you could fix most
not
problems physically? Or not most, I would say just a good portion of problems.
No. I can fix most structural types of situations. I mean, you got to realize everybody's so different.
Yeah.
The kind of drugs, the foods, the activities, the injuries. There's so much going on. But what I do is I find the structure of it, you know, and I try to fix the structure. Then I try to fix and give that person joy in their life. I try to give people a way to find a way to reach for your goals and achieve things so you can feel happy about yourself. Because just by being happy with yourself, you're already boosting all the things in your life that reduce inflammation in your body, and you're making your body healthier and younger, and you're producing a higher level of all the hormones that make your body younger just by laughing and giggling and find things that make you feel fulfilled in life.
Well, I spend like a quarter of my day fucking giggling, so I remember. Sorry, if you can finish. I remembered something.
So my question is to both of y'all. Y'all have known each other for a long time, right?
It's coming up on a
handful of years now, yeah?
Yeah.
10 whole years have gone by, and you've never picked up his ideology.
Me?
Yeah, you, Matt.
No, I was always the skeptic. I always, and John will tell you, we would have these discussions in his backyard like 3 or 4 nights a week for hours. And then every time I'd be like, yeah, I don't think it's that complicated, man. I think we're here and then we're die and that's it. Can I leave now? No,
so what do you think about this, John, now that you're seeing him grow so much?
What do I think about Matt now that I've seen him grow so much?
Yeah.
Like to start like being less of a skeptic and believing in
things like
the afterlife and reincarnation.
Oh yeah, you know, everybody has the reality that they want to have, and that's actually one of my favorite tattoos that I have is that mindset, and that makes me accept everybody in the world. Everybody has their group of experiences that make them believe what they want to believe. I think every human being is simply a reflection of me that just happens to be contained within this group of realities. So when I run into somebody, and if they have something different than me or something like that, my whole goal is I want to know what group of life experiences you have that give you the ideology that you have. Mm-hmm. And then I want to try to help pick apart part of that through friendly conversation and jokes and laughter, and start helping you pull apart some of the things that I see might be a little backwards. And at the same time, hopefully you give the same gift to me. You're able to make fun of things about me that aren't very positive that I can then start looking at and being like, oh, maybe I need to adjust this and this about myself.
Well, that's, I think, the ultimate goal. I mean, I remember you were trying to get me to at least give yoga an attempt. And I did give it, you know, I gave it the old college try, which is half-assed. And now I kind of wish I would have.
You can always start, buddy.
Oh, I know. It's never too late. I just fucking took up guitar like less than a little over a year ago now. And I'm telling you, man, there's really no reason to put anything off. I mean, not put anything off, but if you're like 50 and you're like, man, I wish I would have. I mean, it's like, still can, always. I'm like, I
want to have a laugh?
Yeah.
My journal. I mean, it's all silly colors and shit. But on the journal, my journal says, what would life be if we had the courage to attempt anything?
Well,
you know,
that's what's funny.
There's nothing wrong with failing. That's the thing we got to teach people. There's nothing wrong with failing.
Oh, I do it all the time. Fuck it. It's get used to it.
Yeah.
Taking care of your luggage.
It builds character failing. If all you do is get success, what? Yeah. You know, but you know, all failing does is teaches you how not to try something.
Right.
You know, it's not you should quit trying. It's like, okay, try to find another angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, educate yourself so you have more options so you can try new angles. There's an idea.
Have you noticed that maybe my whole thought perspective shift happened like right after my mom's death? Like I didn't have any major loss in my life from 0 to 31. Like all my grandparents,
Really?
they were all pretty much dead before I was born. One died when I was like 3, so I don't remember. And then there was no death until 2 of my uncles died like a year and 2 years before my mom, and then my mom was like the 3rd year. So it was like 3 years in a row I got like boom, boom, boom. And I think that's when the perspective shift happened. And I hope it's not me just trying to find an excuse, and that I actually like do realize that this is what's happening now.
Well, you don't think you would have come to this if your mother was still alive?
I honestly don't think I would have thought about it.
Why not?
That's because I used to think about it, and my answer was, I'm never going to know, so what's the point? It was like apathy, right?
No, I don't understand that, because I've always wanted to know. Like,
I
even
know.
as a kid, I used to like...
Well, Matt, was it? I think Matt did a lot of growth in the classes he took after his mom passed away.
Yes.
I remember when he started taking those classes, he really started to dive into himself. Is that about right, Matt?
That sounds exactly right. That's when I learned how to start saying no to people, how to set boundaries, how to...
You still don't know how to say that.
No, I do actually.
He does not know how to do that.
Oh, I so do.
No, seriously, how many times did you change your flight to come up here? You don't know how to say no.
No, he was excited to go. It's just he fucked up.
I didn't fuck up.
You know, it's
whoever robbed me fucked up.
You left it by a glass window door.
Yeah, we'll call it a sliding glass door, but sure, whatever you want to call it. Tomato.
Either way, it was unlocked.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, at least it was locked.
No, it wasn't. It was unlocked. The idiot left it unlocked.
The blinds were open in the whole 9 yards. It sounds like.
I have roommates.
They passed the buck, my friend. Well played. Well played.
There we go.
Oh gosh.
Nice PJs.
I wish I was there just to find it, because I bet you anything I would find it. I wish I was there.
I bet you could find it. Here, why don't you take my like $19,000 I have in free like American Airlines travel and fly out here, find it for me, and fly yourself home. I will pay you in more.
I would do it if you
American
it was
Airlines
my own money.
I wonder.
Oh gosh.
Oh no! Well, you have all those tickets. Why don't you fly up to Texas and do your next recording face to face?
Oh,
you got all the free
We
time?
are talking about doing that in Albuquerque, by the way, or somewhere in New Mexico.
Because my husband's uncle, amazing dude. Like, he is amazing.
Yeah.
He's a little off his wagon. Oh, I only say no. He's not actually.
He sounds like my dad.
He has the same mentality as us. He literally smokes all day. He's doing all the works, dabs, edibles, everything. But his mentality is amazing. Every story he tells is amazing, and I really want to interview him on the podcast. And he has an open house policy, so anyone's allowed in and out as they please. And he's an amazing cook, like amazing.
I love this man. I can't wait to hear the interview. Everything you just said are things that I totally resonate with. And I'm like, that's.
Oh, he would love me too. You seem very similar to him, actually.
TriCast, let's do this.
I mean, exactly. I mean, what makes me happy is to hear that there are other people like me out there, like expanding this consciousness that we have of being good and neighborly to people. Like, it was kind of funny. I was driving in before we were going to do this, and as I was about to pull down my road, there's a truck there, and we pull alongside, say hi. Ends up being the neighbor right next door to us, and the farm that we're growing the cannabis at was the other half of his old farm. And we started chatting. We started talking about bloodlines and family, because my family's been in Oregon doing logging since the late 1800s, early 1900s. And we're starting to jack back and forth. And we start coming back about our last names. And he's like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I think we might be related. And I'm just like,
oh,
what
shit.
the hell's going on here?
Oh,
yeah, right out of nowhere. You know, so I'm going to call my mom, and he gave me the name of the Jones, Quincy Jones. So I'm going to call my mom and see if that, because there's a lot of Jones out here, go figure.
There's a lot of Quincy Joneses too. One's a singer.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to send that down the pipeline and see if it is. But the thing I thought was funny, they were all loggers, and they're the ones that cut down so much forest. And now here we are, you know, maybe bloodlines coming back together, and we're both all growing cannabis, and we're trying to do the opposite of what our grandfathers did. Rather than cutting everything down around us, we're trying to find ways to grow something that's sustainable and that can be beneficial to everybody around us, and not just market off of stealing from the land.
I've noticed the life kind of works that way.
How did you get into growing cannabis?
I was working at a corporate office, a big chain of grocery stores, in the sales department, and I love numbers, and I love building things, and I love like manipulating people's minds with colors and things like that to attract them to different types of sales. Mm-hmm. I got really tired there because you do a lot of work on the computer and you write a lot of notes, and then you pass these things down, but you're passing them out to 200 stores, which means you have 200 individuals that are a third party reading your paperwork, and most of them are like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And then you get tons of calls about people who didn't read your paperwork, or they read it but they didn't care and they did this. And all this work and energy I was putting into to my labor was just being, to me, disregarded. And I couldn't take it anymore. And a friend of mine was in Humboldt, and he called me and he asked me if I wanted to come up for a month and build some fences. I said, sure. So I go up to Humboldt. I built some fences with them, and while we were doing that, there was a cannabis farm up the hill that we went to a couple of times, and we would water the plants and we would prune and things like that. And even though like I got poison oak and I got MRSA and all, and I like by the time I got back to Arizona, I had to go to the emergency room right away to take a bunch of steroids and antibiotics to get my body to calm down and relax. I had never been at peace the way I was doing that work. So I spent the next year getting away from working at that corporate office and building my friendships with the people I had met at Humboldt. And then I left my job and I went right up to a farm, and I never looked back.
That's sweet. Did I tell you the
I've
story?
wanted to be this person since I was 16. Like,
That's awesome.
It took me 20 years. But fuck, man. Now I went from that 3 years ago. Now I'm one of the site managers at a 10-acre farm. 1/3 of it's all rec cannabis that we have a waiting list for people that love that weed. On the other half, I help run the nursery, and I build all of the stuff, and I manage all of the hardware. I get to drive a fucking tractor. I mean, my life is bomb.
No, that sounds like very peaceful and amazing, actually.
Yeah, I found Zen. I'm able to work super hard, and every month it's a different process in plant growing. You're pruning, or you're prepping land, or you're harvesting, or you're doing this, or you're processing. So it's always a repetition, but it's always a consistent change. And every year's a little different. Every year your soil's a little different. Every year your white's a little different. You get fires this year. So every year you get to go in and have a battle with nature, but not even really a battle. It's more of a dance. You're both sitting there trying to play this little rhythm together, and you're both trying to find each other's vibrations, and you're just trying to like, yeah, how can I figure this kind of day, and how's this working? And you're trying to find energy around you.
It sounds like a piano player and a bass player and a drummer trying to get in rhythm in like a jazz band. But I did like his dance very much. I hope we get a recording of that with the Zoom output.
I hope so too, because I need that dance.
Dude, you know how much we'd get on TikTok with that one? At least 5 views.
Oh yes, we would. We're posting you on TikTok now.
Oh, see, this is the only reason I'm happy that Matt didn't show up. So 2 weeks ago,
you have my shit stolen?
Yeah. How much did you say it was worth?
About $3,000, almost 2.5.
I don't know if I got enough out of it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
No, a couple weeks ago, I mean, June is the kind of month on a farm you're going to put in a 300-hour month. And I'm pretty much going to be hitting those numbers.
Wow.
So I have to do something to make myself happy. And I love dancing. I love yoga, but I really love challenging myself physically. And I found a pole dancing class out here. So for the last
oh, that's right.
I've been out there freaking pole dancing. And
How's that going?
So much fun.
Okay.
Are you the only guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to ask.
Really?
Yeah.
And are they feminine moves or are they masculine?
Well, the first class I went to, there were 5 other chicks that were there because I live right next to Ashland, and Ashland has one of the biggest liberal arts hippie girl freaking places in the world.
Oh.
And they're adorable humans. They're really cute people.
Are they all vegans?
They're cute people. I'm just going to keep myself.
Okay, all right. Okay, keep moving.
Yeah. All I say is they're finding their way in life, and if they ask me a question, I'm happy to give them an answer and hopefully plant a seed that makes them happy. Other than that, yeah. So anyway, so I was at the pole class, and there's 5 other chicks there. They're all probably like in their early 20s, and they're wearing almost nothing. And I'm sitting there in like some shorts and a t-shirt trying to do like the sexy moves. I'm trying to like squeeze it with my thighs and bend my back, look all pretty, and I'm like. But the funny thing is, so I keep sliding down the pole because like my hands sweat a lot. So I keep sliding down, I'm squeezing with my thighs, and she's like, I think the material on your shoulder, it just doesn't work well. And I'm kind of looking around, and I'm like, well, I'm wearing boy shorts, and all the girls are like, just go ahead, just wear those. And I'm like,
oh God.
So I'll go in my shorts, and I'm just sitting there, and my white, because I've been working in the sun, so I'm tan, hardcore from the waist up. I look almost Mexican. Then you see my thighs, and you think I'm a Nord.
Oh my God.
Tell me your pictures, please.
No. I know.
It's okay. I'll draw you this way. It's fine. It's already in my mind. You're going to have the best drawing coming your way.
Can I?
But no, it was really fun. We all laughed. And when I try things like that, I do really work at it. So I was really trying to get the moves. And they were like these things where you got to hold the pole and you flip your leg over the top of it. And you
I've done pole dancing before. I enjoy it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the horribleness. But I can say this. The second time I went there, it was just me and the teacher. And she's a super dope chick. I take her yoga classes too. And what I like about it is she doesn't like tell you what pose to get into. She literally guides your body through a whole group of movements. It just happens that you find a bunch of poses through all those movements.
Oh, nice.
I know, I love it. So anyways, she kind of gave me more. She pulled up her phone, and we started going through Instagram photos of a bunch of guys that were pole dancing wearing regularly length shorts. So the second time I was there, we went through a lot more of those types of moves, and I started doing a lot more stuff where like you're making yourself a flag on the side, and you're doing those things where you're doing a lot more of that inversion type of movements. And I ended up flipping myself upside down and making myself almost a flag for like almost a split second, and then my ass gave out. But that split second was so good.
That's awesome.
So wait a minute. What is the end goal here? To perform like publicly, or is it just for like I guess mental health, physical health, and just overall benefits?
It's a challenge physically that I get to take on, and every time I get to achieve something, that's another cookie I get to eat every morning.
I love it.
To make myself strong and powerful.
Well,
that's why I did it. That's exactly why I did it.
Yeah.
It's like what's this fuck says, you gotta do something that makes you uncomfortable, like at least once a month, like really uncomfortable. Otherwise, you'll get complacent and stop growing, pretty much.
Yeah, I do that as well. So my goal after I got sick was to do something new at least once a year, if not possible, every month.
Right.
So I was a stripper for a week.
Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah. So
Jackie, I love you.
Is that where you got all your money?
Definitely. That's exactly where I got it from. My first day, I actually made
$800 because
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't even dance at all my first day. No one touched me. I enjoyed it. Someone bought me a room, and he annoyed me because he tried doing more than I was willing to. So the manager's like, "Hey, Jackie, take the money, and I'll kick him out for you." It's like, "Thank you."
Whoa.
But I used my real name, by the way. I couldn't think of any clever name, but I used my real name.
Jackie.
I did.
What's your stage name? Jackie.
Jackie. Is that your real name? Yeah, actually, I'm too boring to find a fake name. But
You know, the funny thing is, the girl I take the class from was a girl I met at the strip club, and she also used her regular name.
Weird.
well, it's free. It's like I'm not pretending to be someone else. I'm being myself, and I'm trying to be myself. I was trying to feel sexy, pretty much. I was trying to feel comfortable in my body at that time before I knew I was going to have a baby.
Did it work?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, that's good. So it is
That's what I did
self-confidence
before.
like boosting.
Yeah, it is, because you know how many men like prayed over me and be like, "Hey, I'll do anything for you if you'll just spit on me."
Well,
Like,
most
I don't-
guys would say that to most girls anyway. So I'm just saying.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. I've been in the fetish community for so many years, and what you just said just resonated so hardcore. with so
I'm
many
surprised
people.
that's not where we met, John, by the way. I really am.
Wait, you have fetishes?
Me?
Yes.
I'm a rigger. I love doing rope stuff. Rope stuff. To me, artistic rope is gorgeous.
I meant Matt. I've never thought of him like in that.
No, don't think of me in that.
Oh no,
Please don't. No.
I'm a sadist. I have an absolute sadist inside of me, and
I could see that.
yeah, but but since I have a massage therapy background, when I flog people and I beat people and things like that, like I do it in a very therapeutic way. Like I know how to make the muscles get warmed up. I know how to do this. I know how to watch pain thresholds. I know how to. But the most important thing is after I'm done beating them, I know how to then be kind and compassionate and give them aftercare. You know, like that's the
Ooh.
biggest
Is it
thing
still
about
called
that.
beating them though?
With love. It's a lovely beating. That's what we call it.
But Matt,
It's-
I really need to know, do you have fetishes? Because for some reason, I assumed you never had sex. I knew you don't have sex. Like, I know now you don't have sex, but like...
I'm pretty open about that. I think I did a cost benefit analysis and it doesn't add up. I ran the numbers and
Honestly, I'm
they're-
actually towards Matt's side now.
yeah, no, it really doesn't add up. But let me tell you this. So the only reason I said I'm surprised that's not where I met him was because for years and years and years, I would cater those events, the Arizona Fetish Ball events.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you just watched people like...
I was
You
watching
were
like
there?
suspensions and shit where they were like putting like meat hooks through people's like backs and shit while I was like serving like
What the
sushi
Oh,
on
come
like
on,
naked
Jackie.
people.
I've been suspended twice.
Does it hurt?
Fuck yeah, it hurts.
But okay,
Yeah.
When that fascia separates from your
but
fucking
sex
oh,
during pain... Wait, pain during sex isn't that painful, right?
I don't think
No,
I know
how
it's not
people
that
process. I think. Like for me, when I don't like pain during sex, but I have a relationship with pain where that's why I did the sin suspension, because I have a relationship with pain that has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with my spirituality, and it has to do with me and struggle and my intellect and how I can find a place of peace no matter what kind of hell my body might be inside
But
of.
I thought...
So that's kind of where I did that suspension. And then I started to swing around, and then I started really having fun. But yeah. No, my ex-wife actually performed at multiple of the fetish balls he's talking about. She would get suspended, and she would just go crazy up there.
Oh, you probably
Yeah.
know like
She was
that whole
amazing
crowd
to
then.
watch.
Shauna and Gimp and all
I
them.
thought fetish was sex and fetish. Like, I thought fetish is sexual.
So all these things that you're doing are foreplay.
Sexual.
Yeah.
Yes.
So going up there and doing all that spinning and having those endorphin boosts and all that stuff, it's all slowly building your brain into a specific headspace you're trying to get into. So after doing those kind of events and blah, 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 we'd all go back, and there was like this big hotel that would be the orgy party. So they pretty much bought out the whole hotel. Everybody would go back from the fetish balls to the big hotel, and then rooms would be open, orgies. And
Can I cut you off right here?
Oh, sorry.
You remember you were asking what happened with my last girlfriend, and I said she cheated, quote unquote, on me at one of the after parties for the fetish balls that we had catered for. This is what I am referring to.
Oh,
Sorry.
Just so you're a little more clear on exactly what happened to me. Anyway, you may continue, John.
Yeah. So it was pretty crazy. I mean, the one thing I do have to say, one of my favorite performances was for Valentine's Day, when Jamie was able to be hung up, and we did her as Cupid. So we went there, and I was at the house, and we're making these cute little leather arrows with like little cotton balls and things like that taped on the front. So while she was flying around suspended, she could shoot arrows at people in the audience.
Oh, shit.
And to be her corresponding love, I bought this decked out, complete red suit with a vest. I didn't wear a shirt, so I just went vest, badass red pants, these white shoes, this dope-ass red fedora.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a shirt with sleeves.
Thanks.
I need this picture because this.
Oh, he's got it.
Awesome.
He's got it.
Oh, if you go into Matt, if you go into my Facebook,
I got it.
Or if you go onto Jamie's page, I think Jamie has the pictures up. You can see a couple of pictures while she's flying. It's amazing.
Perfect. I will grab them for us.
So, how do you get into this fetish?
Quite literally through meetup.com or Facebook?
No. Interestingly enough.
Not this one?
No. I got into the fetish world because when I was younger, I was just a wild-ass person, so I was just kind of part of sex groups, and I just kind of dabbled in all kinds of whatever it was about being a hedonist. Then I just knew that I knew that I would never want to be just with one person, that I knew that I had way too much desire for everything out there. Mm-hmm. So when I met my wife, we were kind of like, blah, blah, blah. I was dating other people, and we kind of had an open relationship. And one of her oldest friends she knows, a guy I still love and I actually do my martial arts with, lived in Phoenix, and we went to go see him one day, and he's like, oh, hey, yeah, there's this fetish ball thing going on. You guys should come out and check it out. It's really interesting. And I had watched a bunch of those real sex shows when I was a kid on HBO. My parents would do the Birds and the Bees. We would sit down there with our dad, and my dad would be watching it while my mom was upstairs reading.
Oh, gosh.
So I got introduced to shit at a weird age. So when I met Jamie, we just ended up, he said, come hang out at a party. And I was like, well, let's go have some fun. And we showed up to that party. And then Jamie is a huge masochist switch. She came up from
what does that mean?
Yeah, what's a switch?
Go back. Sorry. What does that mean?
At that time in her life, because of all of the trauma she had received as a child from her mother and from her stepfather, emotionally and sexually, and in a lot of other ways, the only way that she could actually kind of like find comfort and peace inside of her mind was to be beaten back into that place.
Yeah, there's a sadism.
And she would have to get all the way back into that decompression spot where she could then finally relax, because she finally got back to the one injury that she can't get over at that time.
Is she better?
Yes. And yes. Yeah. It actually was kind of what ended up breaking us up in our marriage. But my mushrooms had already told me about this, so I was okay with it. That's a funny story.
That is kind of funny. Oh, but by the way, so sadism is people who get pleasure from inflicting pain. Masochism is gratification from receiving. And then there's sadomasochism.
Yeah, she's sadomasochist, but she's masochist, but the sado side of her mostly is derived towards men, because in her mind, she gets to beat the man that sexually abused her as her child.
Gotcha.
So she gets to degrade this thing in her mind was this monster. So by being able to degrade it and beat it and hurt it, she's able to comfort that idea that that monster is always going to be at her door waiting for everyone to fall asleep to come and attack and abuse.
It's almost like an immersion therapy when like someone's afraid of spiders by like, confronting actual spiders.
Wow.
I will never confront a cricket, but that's beside the point.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. I fucking hate crickets.
Dude, they're the fucking worst.
Dude, what?
I don't like
You
crickets.
guys don't like Pinocchio? Why you guys
I love-
beating up on Jimmy
oh.
the Cricket? How
No,
dare you?
that guy's a fucking square. He'd be like, put down the drugs, Matt. And I'd be like, fuck off. Get out of here.
Oh, bro, how you gonna flick a cricket with that dope ass hat, bro?
I gotta watch that movie.
You guys really don't like crickets?
No, I don't like crickets. I fucking
They're my
hate
number
crickets.
one fear in the world.
They eat it, like-
Oh,
What?
They're my number one fear in the world.
crickets.
Believe it.
Oh, Lord. I thought
I-
dating was, but all right.
I don't think he has a problem. I don't think dating is his issue. I think women are his issue. Just
No,
plain out
I
women.
love women.
I think he's gay.
No, you don't. You don't really believe that.
No, I know you're not. But you do have an issue with women.
I don't.
I don't
though.
know how to fix that. Yes, you do.
Oh,
I don't though.
If you
Oh,
don't see a value, in dating a woman because of all the issues you have, and I understand, like, you just don't see you a relationship as just a transaction that isn't worth it.
well, here's.
I'm
okay.
kind of with Matt.
Thank you, but that's not what I meant at all. Here's more of what I meant. Is one, I am not emotionally mature enough to handle the probably inevitable loss. Is one. Two, and this is the big one. Is that when I say not worth it, I don't mean that women aren't bringing anything to the table besides sex and like
I didn't
hold
think
it
of
out.
it that
Yeah,
way.
right.
I probably should have said it that way.
No.
But
What I mean is I think I get something different out of sex than most people do, and I don't think it adds up to it being worth everything that goes into acquiring it. If that makes any sense. I don't think
I
it
didn't
feels
see it as
I don't
that
think
way.
it feels that good.
Oh, yeah.
the way I see Matt is a little kid that's still like in need of someone,
Yep.
but not wanting that person to be the closest thing possible to him because he's afraid of it leaving. That's what I meant, as in he's afraid of women, not like all the
Yes.
other things that he explained.
That's
I didn't
exactly
think
right.
about that.
Okay, good.
Yes, I'm with that.
I agree with that assessment too. Jim,
Oh, yeah.
no, Ramon, cut that out.
No, I like it.
No, you got to keep that in. I mean, Jackie has a degree in this shit, bro. You got to let her go. You got to let that shit pop on you.
Yeah, let it pop.
You know what's funny is y'all would probably never talk to me just from the way I am in public or the way I dress, because I'm very and so is my husband. My husband dresses very posh, and I look very like stick up my ass. I'm just so glad I met Matt. I don't know.
Oh,
Because I would have ever talked to John because of you, and I would have never talked to you because you probably would have never talked to me, and I would haven't talked to you because I'm an awkward human. So
Yeah,
You know, I would have probably talked to you, though. I talk to people, Jackie. I like people.
There
People
are two
are really, no, let me phrase this. People suck.
people suck.
Are fucking awesome.
Men in
you
Black.
can really enjoy a person. You get
Men in
people,
Black.
and it's like, ugh.
Oh, be right back.
that face.
Don't leave me.
I
I have abandonment issues. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
What are you
Oh, yeah.
doing?
Well, I'm gonna give some credence to Matt's choices, because I've recently taken his philosophy into my own heart more so, not completely, but more so. Right before I moved on to this beautiful cannabis property, my girlfriend had moved out to live with me from Virginia, and like if you took everything and wrote down everything on paper, we were just wonderful together. We both had the same fetishes. We both loved rope play. She liked all of our kink stuff really mattered. And I think kink is probably another interchangeable word with fetish, but she had some mental things that were going on that I wasn't aware of, and that was what kind of broke it up. And it's kind of interesting because the last 3 relationships and the last 3 women I've loved, oh, fuck, this is going to sound fucked up. No, but the last 3 women that I've loved and I've had which is, man, this is fucking hard to say. I'll try to commit suicide on my watch, in a sense. My ex-wife, she ended up moving down to Tucson to get her degree, which she got, and she's, I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for her. She wants to change the world, and she wants to work in the forest industry. I'm so happy for her. Sorry. But she lived in a really shitty part of Tucson, so I gave her one of my guns to hold on to. I was like, this is a bad place. You need something here to keep you safe. And when we were going through our breakup and we were going through a lot of the problems, she expressed how many times she had been sitting there in the bed because she's manic depressant. Apparently that's what I attract. And she was just going through these dark times, and and it was so daunting on me to think about her holding my gun to her head, trying to not shoot herself in the face. Like, that's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And then after my divorce, I moved up to Oregon, and I had sold my house, and I had some really nice money. And there was a girl that I started dating, which kind of really created the separation between me and my wife. Even though it was an open marriage, like, me having that relationship was kind of that, like, essence that allowed our relationship to finally have its true separation. And that girl she was a beautiful person. But she had a lot of emotional trauma too. And when she came up to see me, we were down at the beach having a beautiful time. And when we were upstairs making love, and like, it was a perfect setting. Sunset was coming down. We had an upstairs view. The windows were, this is the shit from movies. And in the middle of it, she just started to break down. And then she just started slamming a bottle of alcohol. And within 20 minutes, she's on the ledge. And this is in January, so there's snow everywhere, like slippery as hell. And she's out there goading me, like trying to like fall off. And I'm trying to like pull her in, but still like not be super loud, so we don't have like people called. Mm-hmm. And like she slipped, and I had to catch her and pull her in. And oh God, that was insane. And then my last girlfriend, on the night of her best friend's suicide a year before, she wasn't really taking care of herself mentally or physically. She wasn't taking any pills, and she was just falling off the wagon. And I found out she was a very hard manic depressant. And when you get Lyme's disease, it really like pushes it harder. Yeah. Yeah. So one night, because I work really hard, and I work, 8 to 12-hour days on the farm. And it was that night, and I was coming home, and I was trying to be nice and comforting to her, but she had like snuck some Coke and some shit like that, and she'd been drinking. And I tried to go to bed because I had an early morning, and she wakes me up, and I'm like, what? She's like, do you know the name of my parents? And I'm like, what? She's like, if anything ever happened to me, would you know the name of my parents? And I'm like,
what?
Barely woke up. And I'm like, what? Like, your dad's name's John, and your mom's. What's going on? She's like, she leans into me and she says, you don't know my parents' name, but I know the taste of your gun barrel.
Whoa. Where the fuck am I?
That's crazy.
So I was just laying there. I was in complete shock, and she leaves the room. And I'm laying there in bed, I was over it at the same time. I couldn't take any more of this type of mental attack, especially when it's like you're affecting my life and my livelihood and the things I love. And that's where my head was. And I was frustrated, and I'm laying in bed, and then the brand new 357 I had bought, I hear a pop. And then I go out of bed right away because my parents are in the fucking living room watching TV. Thank God they're deaf.
Yeah. What?
So I walk out to the car, and as I get to the door, I open the door, and she's walking into the balcony, and I'm like, what's going on? What happened? She's like, I think I may have put a hole in your car. So I just walked to my car, I opened the door, and a woof of gunpowder just hit me in the face.
What the fuck?
So she was holding onto my gun in her lap, and whatever happened, she had her finger on the bullet. She pulled the trigger, The gun popped in her hand. Bullet went through my steering wheel into my into my cruise control.
That's funny. Well,
No,
that's
it's not funny.
But
No, that's not the funny. That's pure irony.
yeah,
When you see that, if you can't laugh at that, then you're gonna just drown in misery.
Dude, I
that
feel
part was funny.
the
But-
joke. We're like living the Joker, kind of.
Well, now that you've gone through all that and you've been through those very toxic relationships, or I would consider toxic, have you changed?
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you just heard him say he kind of
I'm
agrees
going
with
back
me.
to. Oh well, yeah. I'm kind of going back to. See, I'm going back to my old way, but not so much. So, I have a weird life and I have a weird mindset, and I kind of live my life by my own moral values because I believe my intellect is pretty sound in my reasoning skills. So I like to use that as the baseline for my own moral values, not the collective whole around me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm at the point now where I like the life I live. I like working as hard as I do, and I make good money. And I'm just kind of at the point now, like, I'm going to hang out with my friends and do my thing. Maybe once a month or something like that. I'll get an escort. I'll go over. I'll have some fun, get a little drunk, party, have some fun, do my little thing there, get a nice secondary release, and then just go back to my own life. Because at least I can still get the sexual releases, and I know I'll be able to get the kink things that I want. I'll be able to get that part of my release in life, but I'm not also then dictated to the fact that I have to manage my life and my time around theirs and that requirement. Like, I don't have to worry about their daily emotional issues because it's like, I got to fix myself for a while now. So,
I feel
that's the only difference between me and Matt is I still plan on having sex, but you pay for it any which way. And that's kind of the weird thing. I was kind of looking at it in the long run. I'm like, man, I've paid a lot emotionally for some cool relationships and some amazing sex, but it feels so much better thinking that 2 extra hours in the sun sweating, driving a tractor around, putting fertilizer on the ground can buy me a half hour of a pretty girl's time for some sexual fun, and then I can get back into my life. Does that sound weird?
No, I like that.
You guys want to hear a secret that nobody's ever heard in my life ever?
Yes, Matt, always.
Do you want to know what my sister bought me for my 16th birthday?
A flashlight.
No.
Or they're called flashlights, right?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say your brother's ass.
I think she made that one for him.
Oh, she set up the dream.
Oh, yeah. That's a good dream, too.
Hey, man,
Oh, wait a minute.
put it out
No.
there.
He had a vagina in my dream. Come on, guys.
Ew, why?
What do you mean, why? I told you this that day. And I don't know why. Ask my brain.
And here's the thing. Why aren't you calling it a nightmare? It should be a nightmare.
No, I called it a great dream. What do you mean,
It's
nightmare?
a dream. You hear the joy in his voice?
It was sweet.
I knew it, Matt. Okay, continue. Tell us what you got.
Yeah. what
For
she
my
gets you?
16th birthday, I was bought an hour with a prostitute.
Oh,
Really?
Yes,
She loves you.
she did because she was tired of my brother who was 14, who was constantly rubbing in my face how many blowjobs he's had, which was 3.
Ew. You're
Yeah, I know.
14. Your dick's not even. I don't think it could get hard. I don't even.
14? Are you kidding me?
Dude, if
Like,
your kid's 14,
explain.
he's putting his dick in the refrigerator and the oven and the silverware cabinet, anything.
14, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
a pinky dick.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, I don't.
No,
That's
no, nobody's that big.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
Jackie.
Come on, yes, seriously, no. Yeah, no.
No,
No,
yeah.
man, that's why you wear that's why you get the belt, man, so you can loosen it up. You wear loose jeans.
Wait, so did you lose your virginity to? Did you lose your virginity to her?
No.
What?
It was a blowjob exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, for an hour?
Oh, she bought you a blowjob.
It
not bad.
took me an hour. We were so high on coke. Yeah, one of
It took
those.
you how
hookers.
long?
An hour.
About.
You know, you have to appreciate that woman. She really worked for it. You know?
Oh my god, dude, that
Mind
woman
you,
deserves
you're
an
underage,
Oscar.
but you know that girl's got some goddamn gusto. Yeah, I hope you tipped her.
I wonder if she's still alive.
Oh gosh. What was her name?
Her name was Brenda, and she had 3 transsexual Mexicans living for her that did all her cooking and cleaning. It was kind of like...
Sounds like the birdcage.
Dude, yes. Yeah. It was kind of like, like the little rat helpers from fucking Sleeping Beauty, or Cinderella. That's what I meant. And my little dressmakers.
We can all agree that the best description ever of Cinderella was in Fight Club.
I don't remember the description.
Oh, when they referenced to the condom being the glass slipper.
Oh.
gosh.
Well,
that's the Cinderella I think of.
You've heard the original
Nice.
like ending to all the Disney stories, right? The ones that they spoofed to make the Disney's.
Oh yeah, I have the book.
Yeah, in Cinderella, what happened was they cut off all of her toes to make her foot fit in the shoe, so that she would marry into royalty.
Yeah. Sick. Humans are sick people.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, definitely.
All those children's movies end up really
Do you guys
fucked
like
up.
reading?
No,
Obviously.
reading's for idiots.
Have you guys read that book, The Sapiens?
Yes.
Dude.
Okay,
Jackie,
I'm writing it down.
you
Okay.
would love this
How the
book. It is
fuck have I
right
heard
up
this book?
your intellect. It's a guy who really like dissects
I'll bet you gave
humans. I know I've told you about it. Yeah.
You probably gave me an audible.
Like I'm a horrible reader. I don't really absorb much, so I have to do like as I read, I also audiobook at the same
That's what
time.
I'm saying. I think you gave me the audible or the audible code for it, or gifted it to me through Audible.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh no, but Sapiens is super dope. It takes a very open-minded view of humanity, and it talks a lot about all of the cultural changes that occurred and the types of intellectual stories that we have to use to bind people together to create communities, such as stories of and this is I think was amazing, especially when you guys were doing the witchcraft one. This is what really brought it hard to my fucking head, because what she was talking about with her witchcraft, I also am in the same boat. I've been pretty much a witch dude my entire life, but I don't pray to a certain god. It took me a long time to accept being a polytheistic person and saying that I honor multiple gods or lower deities. And what I do is, again, because I have a unique connection and that I'm blessed with, so I can't just offer this to any person out there. You know, if you can, or if you want to use it through meditation, you know, I always offer that to people to try. But when I want to do an activity, I reach out to that God source and I call that God source energy in for me. So when I want to do my combat or my fighting or doing those types of activities, I call on the warrior beast to get inside of me. So I have that intensity to move. But more than the intensity, what it really does is it brings in this excessive amount of overall awareness. It takes your energy bubble that's around you, your manifest of yourself, your energy, your soul's ability to stretch out beyond the physicality in an energetic manner. And you're able to notice so much more inside of a tighter bubble. But once you get outside of that bubble, you lose a lot more perception. So you're condensing everything inside of yourself. So while you're doing your combat, you can feel that dance. And you can feel the way the energy is moving, so you know how to. I don't react to what I see a body doing. I react to the way I feel the energies around me being manipulated.
Interesting.
So that's what that God source does for me. But then when I do my planting and I have to get into that mindset, I call onto the gods that are telling me more about what are the nutrients? What is the plant telling me? How can I read this plant? What energy do I need to part in me? What chakras do I need to start engaging, and do I need to start calling forth so I can reach out with my intention to talk to the plant and ask it, how is it doing? How do you feel? Why are you doing this? Why is this doing that? And then the universe will just plot thoughts inside of your head, and then you just use those. And like when I do my massage therapy, I call upon the goddess of energy and light, and I bring her into me. And at the same time, I always have, whenever I do healing, I always have to call to the absorber, the true mother, which is just the beautiful black hole of reincarnation. And I send everything down between those two sisters. And
When
so
you
depending
said
on what I
beautiful
want to do
black
with my
hole, I thought
life,
you were
I
gonna
call
say
on the
someone
God
else.
source that matters with it. What's that?
When you said beautiful black hole, I thought you were going to say someone else.
Occasionally,
You're
I can
welcome.
be an adult.
All right, guys, I'm out. Tip your waitresses. No. Sorry. Go for it.
Exactly. No. But yeah. So I think when it comes to magic, there's multiple forms of magic. There was that magic that was the ununderstood essence of science. Like if you're a person who had no knowledge of something like fireworks or certain variables within like incense and like smoke magic, and you see somebody doing these acts, you don't have a thing to describe it with. So the only way your brain can manifest it is your brain's going to sit there and it's going to use its imagination and all the possibilities it currently has, and it's going to create a story that makes that thing in front of itself understand it. And when you have people that have higher intellect and the ability to have charisma, those people understand it in a way, then deliver the message down to other people who their consciousness is given to other parts. So I think that's what really started creating these ideas of magic and these different stories of how we have all these different gods of this and gods of that, was this manifestation of the storyline. But then people in power took it and they started like stealing it for their own greatness.
I've defined
And that's
God
where I think you
as
start getting into the religions.
the unexplainable, which pretty much is,
Yeah.
as of right now, not a ton, but what used to be almost everything. But now I've kind of condensed it just to the Great Magnet. Like the only thing I still can't quite explain is like why I meet certain people like Jackie, like John, on these super like rare one-off, should not be happening coincidences. Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, John, we
absolutely.
were talking about it. Like, what's my name in your phone? Matt Excel?
Yeah. Matt Excel.
Yeah, your name is John needs Excel help in my phone.
Because when we first met, we met at a
It was at a
mutual.
beer pong party. We were talking about Excel like templates.
Yeah, because that's when I was working at Sprouts, and I was trying to figure out how to do all these things with Excel and write all this code to make my job easier. And I was like, Matt, teach me. Obi-Wan, teach me.
Oh yeah.
John, remove the name, please. John.
Which name? Oh.
You can't say that.
My fault. Dopey One Kenobi.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening this far, and I didn't think you'd make it. We appreciate it very much. Just if you could do us a favor and go find us anywhere and follow us, rate, subscribe.
We'll be under the tree meditating.
Yes.
Go find us.
I will have a rainbow coming out of my head.
I was
is that
hoping you
possible?
would say ass.
I will have a rainbow coming out of my ass.
Like a unicorn.
Yeah, like, wait, what? Well, we're at Twitter, Magic for Humans, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube. The link is through the website on that one, which is magicforhumans.com as well. Oh, we have a second Instagram, which is Magic for Humans, the number 4, and then with an S.
Like, comment on all our pictures, videos, and download, and give us stars on the iTunes, please. The iTunes.
Yes, especially the iTunes. But anywhere you get your podcasts or podcarts, rate, subscribe, and comment, please. We will read the positive comments on air.
Ooh, that's nice.
We'll read the negative ones too, because it'll be fun. Don't leave negative ones though.
If anyone leaves us a 1-star rating, I will go and murder you in your sleep, in your dreams, and then you'll wake up and be murdered again every time you go to bed.
You'll be living the same day over and over. It's like,
But you're not sure if you're awake or asleep.
It's deja vu. And please feel free to go to the website and send in any art. Music is great. Drawings are great.
And
Jokes are
anything
great.
that you find that inspire you from our podcast, we will gladly look at it, post it, or even promote you as well. So thank you very much for any artwork that's sent in.
Yes, thank you very much. Go to the website, check out our gallery there where we're going to have, featured artists and featured selected art. Also on the website, we do have Venmo and PayPal if you want to support us to get this, I guess,
Dollar
project
goes
off
a
the
long
ground.
way.
It
Yes.
really does. Our editor isn't cheap, and I talk a lot. Help. Back to the show.
I had one joke for you from Norm Macdonald. So, I used to think revenge was a dish best served cold. But then I found out that revenge just meant getting back at somebody. And now I'm pretty sure pasta is the dish best served cold.
You're such a dork. Now, I think he's going to end every podcast with a cheesy joke.
No,
Gosh.
not every podcast. Here, you want me to end it with a better one?
has
How
been
about this?
It has been every episode since Danny.
What do you get when you cut open the stomach of a dead baby with a rusty kitchen knife? Just an
Matt,
erection.
tell me.
Just an erection. It's fine. Okay, now, John, do you have anything you'd like to push, plug, or sell on our show?
What's
Weed.
the best thing
Doesn't have
about
to-
banging 24-year-olds?
I know this one, so
Yeah,
I'm going to shut up.
What?
And there's 20 of them.
Oh no, that was bad.
That's
No.
for you, Jerry.
Hey, John.
That's for
You
you.
ruined it.
Hey, John.
You open
John.
the show saying you hate those jokes, so Merry Christmas.
John.
Oh, thank you.
John. How many dead 13-year-olds does it take to change the light bulb in my closet?
How many?
I'm not sure, but it's definitely not 6.
Y'all suck. I'm done.
We'll see you later, buddy.
Oh, thank you guys. I had a wonderful time.
Oh, we did too. Thank
do
you so
everything
much.
you do.
Oh,
Like
hey,
chicken
John.
wings.
Honest question, though.
Oh.
Did you just say love chicken fingers?
Yeah. Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Well, thank you, John, for being on our podcast. You
Yeah.
may leave. No, I'm
Love you,
Okay.
John.
Thank
Love
you,
you,
Matt.
Jackie. You guys have a good night. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank
See you
you.
guys. Thanks for the fun.